If for some reason you haven't been on YouTube or social media for a while and find yourself starting to actually enjoy the process of making music again, I'm here to give you 6 tips to rekindle that sense of inadequacy, self-doubt, and general emptiness. I kind of hate myself for saying 6 tips on the internet. See, it's already working. This is a pretty simple one. You've had that cracked version of Ableton for a solid 2 hours at this point. So between that and the superior level of talent your mother's been telling the neighbors about all these years, it's pretty safe to assume that you're already better than everyone else, and there's simply nothing more for you to learn. The best course of action from here is to upload your first series of stock loops, head on over to someone else's comments section, and just start dropping those links all over the place. If you can also say something really demeaning about the original poster's work, even better. This will absolutely ensure that no one will ever want to work with you. And thus, you will maintain that edgy, miserable persona that you've managed to create in just a matter of moments. Well done. Now, if you're concerned, don't be, because there are no immediate consequences for posting hateful things on the internet. And bonus, it takes little to no effort to do so, so feel free to rinse and repeat daily. Okay, that first one was admittedly a bit of a softball. Now we're getting into some of the more advanced techniques of self-loathing. See, there's nothing worse than setting really high, unobtainable expectations for things that are totally beyond our control. So obviously, we're gonna want to do that as soon as possible. Here's a really great technique. When you send out links of your stock loop masterpiece to unsuspecting artists who have more followers than you, why would you bother building relationships with artists who are on the same level as you? You're gonna want to make sure to compliment their work. But don't worry, you don't actually have to listen to it. Turns out you can just say generic things about it. In fact, the more generic, the better. Try something like, "Dope vibes, we should work together sometime." And then just cram that link right on in there. A few fire emojis never hurt, you know what I'm saying? No? You see, we don't actually care about that artist as a person, as a human being. We really just have noticed that they have more monthly listeners on Spotify. And obviously that could be a major stepping stone for us. And this is incredibly important. If you take nothing away from this video except for this, it is very important that you do not build any meaningful relationships with other artists, or really anyone for that matter. That would be a lot of work and take a lot of time. But don't worry, using this technique, they're gonna see right through all that, right down to the very desperate and needy artists that we're really trying to become here. Now, not only is this next one essential, it's also a classic. But a classic just means that it stood the test of time. I think the great philosopher Mr. Beast said that. Since you already know everything, obviously there's nothing that you could be doing any better. And this clearly means that external factors have to be to blame. After all, as we've already established, you have absolutely no control over those things, so that simultaneously takes all of the responsibility off of you and allows you to blame something else, while also leading to a sense of hopelessness, anger, and resentment. Perfect. Resentment and jealousy are just a deliciously miserable combination. Sort of like the peanut butter and chocolate of self-loathing.
What? Delicious.
Now, let's go on this journey together. Because we've been focused on things that we can't control, like attempting to use other people as stepping stones in our careers, and angrily lashing out at other people on the internet instead of trying to improve our own craft, it kind of goes without saying that everyone else must be doing that too. Hence too, and therefore, any success that they might have had that you haven't experienced can be explained away by the fact that, well, they're just pandering to the unwashed masses of mass, or they're super lucky they had one hit that it was such trash that everyone just loved it because people are trash, people who aren't us are terrible, or they have insider connections like their mom or dad was some sort of radio exec even though radio doesn't exist anymore. Luckily for us, we'll never have connections because we've already been to everyone on the internet. You see how this is all, it's coming together. Now this is really a double dipper.
Double dipped? What are you talking about? You dipped the chip, you took a bite, and you dipped again.
Not only can we project our own disappointment onto other people, we can also simultaneously feel smugly superior to them. Try to say phrases like, well, my art is too sophisticated for these swine, or I'm just too pure of an artist to stoop to the level of having people care about me. Another proven method for misery, you certainly wouldn't want to clutter up all that raw, natural, unfettered talent with learning about stuff. Reject anyone who tries to help, never invest in yourself by learning new skills, and don't even think about admitting that there might be something that you don't know. After all, you are the main character in this game. Did I Gen Z? And if you should accidentally happen to learn something, you better hoard that, because nothing but happiness and reciprocal feelings of gratitude can come from you sharing your knowledge with other people for free. That's amateur stuff for the professional, miserable artist. It took me like 6 times to get those words out. Above all else, remember that music is a commodity, a means to an end for your own ego. It is not something simply to be enjoyed for its own sake. I mean, what are we doing here, trying to be happy? Basically, the more external qualifiers and validators we can lump onto our music, the better. Money, fame, validation from others, you name it. Just toss them in. This way, we always have the option available to just blame everyone else for our problems. And we can focus on being miserable, which is why we're here. And most importantly, we don't actually have to do anything about it. It's great. It's great. I mean, awful. If you hated this video, don't forget to dislike it. And if you truly understood the assignment, you can leave a hateful comment down below. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to leave hateful comments on every video, but most importantly, do not join my membership, where a group of like-minded people just try to help each other in a community and share exclusive content about synth patches or music production or composition, because that sounds like a great place. And that sounds awful.